Welcome back. All right, so today, Saturday, no hockey game tonight, so we're having a meetup today. I thought today was a good time to do one of these videos where I just kind of, talk myself, random topics kind of thing. But I'll start off with meetup. So we did the meetup 2 weeks ago, which wasn't a big public one. And there was the video posted to the channel. Of course, immediately there's these guys can't play. Imagine this is supposed to do this. So like, people I guess don't understand that what we were playing last time was it was 3-on-3 with one goaltender, and so you have to clear out past the center line. If you decide it's the center line, you just find a line on the floor and say this is where you have to go before you're the attacking team. So you're defending until you get out past that line, then you communicate. So it's not exactly a really serious game of hockey as it is, and since it was a bunch of guys who've played together many, many times, it's a lot more casual than I think people may realize that it is. And then there's the people don't want to get hurt because they have to go to work tomorrow, or they might have to go to work later today, or that kind of thing. So yeah, it's not the same as a National Hockey League game because it's not supposed to be. When the channel started out 6 years ago, one of the things I wanted to do on top of covering every team and covering everything, there were actually a few things. And one was that this was a channel created by a hockey fan, and I wanted to make sure it stayed that way. I have never envisioned myself as being in media. I've made zero attempts to interview players, coaches, GMs. I mean, would I want to? Sure, I guess if I had the chance. I'd be more likely to want to just sit and chat with a hockey player or a coach or a GM than to interview them and make it all hard hitting. Wouldn't be a lot of sound bites about any, oh, look what they admitted kind of thing if I was talking to them. And if there was that kind of discussion, it certainly would not be on the record. But I've stuck with that. I've stuck with the idea of making sure that I talk about every team. So if something big happens with Carolina and then something big happens with Montreal, those should get the same amount of airtime, even if the video about Carolina will get a third of the views as the video about Montreal. So that was important to keep in place and to stay true to that vision. And yeah, with the meetups, make sure that people understand this isn't about being, great athletes. This isn't about, oh, look at that fantastic spinorama that guy did on that goal. It's more about, hey, that went in. Weird. And then you just sort of like, we'll see if I get another one. I don't know how I got that one. And that's basically about how far it goes. And so I'm glad we're getting that started up. It's been a few years since we had a full-on, rambunctious, robust meetup season, so we're expecting that this year. We want to have one in a couple of weeks, likely in Chilliwack. That's where I'm leaning towards having it, and then we should have time for one more after that. Of course, there's the draft coming up. There's free agency coming up. Those are both in July. July 7th and 8th, I do believe, for the draft. July 13th for free agency. So that's going to be a pretty busy week worth. About a week, 5 days, 6 days. Yeah, I'll just say week. So it's going to be a pretty busy week there. Those are normally events that do huge numbers for the channel. Usually that's when the channel gets the best numbers of the year. And then for the rest of the summer, it's me doing the historical videos. And then we get into season previews as soon as we reach about middle of August is when I start the season previews. And I like to do those because I like to do predictions of who's going to finish where in the division and to have mine started up before you start seeing predictions from Sportsnet, TSN, Hockey News. Because, again, I want to make sure that there isn't any, okay, well, because Shannon's standing predictions are the same as that publication or that website, he probably got it from there. And again, that comes from the first couple of years the channel was around, where that would be discussed. I know with power rankings it was discussed as well. So power rankings, I try to make sure I'm out ahead of everybody. But one thing that's changed over the last few years is that power rankings are now kind of a year-round thing for a lot of hockey sites that they kind of weren't. At least I don't remember them being a year-round thing. And obviously I didn't do any during the playoffs. The first power rankings you're going to see again will be after the dust settles on free agency. Like, I don't think there's any need to do one during the playoffs. Because again, the point I've made is that you might have Team A beats Team B in the first round, but may not have beaten this other team that also lost in the first round. And so you're looking at matchups, and again, it's hard for me to update the power rankings that way, and because I tried it the first couple of years and it just didn't work. Where I would see a team in the conference final and think, okay, they're in the conference final, but are they better than this team that lost in the first round? Probably not. So I had to stop doing it that way, and so after the dust settles, as I said, with free agency. So once the bigger names are off the board, then I can go through and go, okay, I think this is where we're at right now. And then it's kind of fun, right? And it's kind of fun. And then I do the power rankings right before the season starts, and then we're good to go. I get asked about NFL power rankings here and there, so I'll throw this in here too. The NFL, it was a matter of hockey was taking up so much of my time, I didn't have the time for the National Football League. The other thing that the NHL is doing now with its scheduling is that they are making it so that on Saturdays and Sundays it's hockey all day, which is fine. That's absolutely fine, but it means that I don't have that time now to watch the NFL games and give an accurate power rankings, because I don't feel like if I'm not following what's going on with football, and obviously it's different with football than with hockey. With football, everything's on at once. Everything's the same day basically, and then you're kind of done. You have the one Monday night game, and then you have usually one on Thursday, and so it's basically most of the teams are playing at the same time. And again, it can be tricky as it is to have a power rankings, but to make the power rankings at all, and I hate to use the term accurate, but to make it where they're informed. Informed is a better term. I have to be able to watch it, and with the NHL schedule as it is now, that's likely not going to be the case. Before we go, I'll be doing a video too on the NHL's financials that The Athletic has a really good article on right now. Also, if you're looking for the new prime green jerseys and you want to get them without spending 100% of the price, if a team's been eliminated from the playoffs, which everybody except Tampa Bay and Colorado has, Cool Hockey has 25% off on all the jerseys right now. The one thing with that is that some of them are running out. So some of the teams are running out. New jerseys are not supposed to arrive until September. So if a website that you're following is out of stock of the certain size of a certain jersey you're looking for in an Adidas, they likely won't get it until September at the earliest. And then of course there's the whole reverse retros that'll be coming out too. But yeah, so once we get past the free agency period, then I do the historical videos. I ordered another large whiteboard. The large whiteboard I have that I've used for the historical stuff got kind of scratched up over the last, I think it's been 3 years since I've had that one. So over 3 years, they do get scratched up. They absolutely do. So I'll have a new one, and then I'm going to do the team. I want to do the team histories. I want to do something a lot more. I have to go back and look at the other team history videos I did as well and make sure I'm not just repeating myself, and make sure there's other new information in there too. But that's the plan, is to have that going. I have actually, as you can see, and I'm surprised nobody mentioned it, I did get lights up in the room. I've had these lights since before we moved, actually. So I got, and one strand did it too. I was surprised. I had 4 strands just in case, but one strand did it. And so, yeah, the lights are back because I like to have those. And it's kind of nice too, that if the house is dark, you have these lights to, I mean, they're not so bright that it's blinding, but you're not tripping over things either. I'm old. I trip over things. So our house has a lot of these lights in it, as the other house did too. But once you've got them stuck like that, and they're probably stuck there. So anyways, and again, that's another digression. You've seen Maple here. Maple has been great. She has been absolute angel. Her sister's actually on one of the lower shelves at the bottom here. They're fitting in quite well. For anybody who's concerned with the cats, they're fitting in quite well. I did take a TikTok video yesterday of Maple with Bear. Bear was sleeping here, and Maple just kind of came up and cuddled with her while she was asleep. It was funny because Bear realized she's there and then just kind of growls at her, and back to sleep and kind of growls at her again. It was cute because I think the kittens have figured out that the cats are all bark, no bite. So they growl and they hiss, and they might slap, but there's no claws. Like, I was keeping an eye on that. But anyways, the kittens are getting accustomed to this house really well. As you can see by her sleeping, she's out. And that's been fun. And of course, the decision to get another cat was absolutely influenced by us losing a cat a few months back, and so when she passed, I knew that we needed to get another cat, and as I've said, she had such a big personality. It took two kittens to even think about replacing her. But anyways, I also get asked here and there about, well, what jerseys do you not have in your collection? I'm very fortunate that I have as many as I do. In terms of what I don't have, it's really kind of minor stuff. The Nashville Predators, the Adidas jerseys they had before these ones. I have the yellow one. I don't have the white one. I see it every now and then on eBay, but it's expensive, and it's not something that I'm tripping over myself to find. Tampa Bay, there's the Storm jersey. I have one that's kitted, but if it's a kitted jersey, I don't put it in with the jersey collection. And kitted jerseys are it's one of these areas that we're going to see, I think, more and more of. So CCM, that made a lot of the classic jerseys that are in my collection in the background. CCM lost the rights to make NHL jerseys years ago. So when they lost the rights to get to make NHL jerseys, I immediately realized I had to collect as much as I can as quickly as I could, because once they were gone, they were gone. And now we're seeing a lot of the CCMs gone. So what we're seeing now is a lot of CCMs that are either branded as fakes, right? You have the knockoffs, and then you have the kitted jerseys. And kitted jerseys, are they like, so a kitted jersey is this, and if somebody says it's a kit, it's that they get a blank jersey. Generally, this is how it works. It's a blank jersey, and then they get the logos, they get everything they need to add to that jersey to make it look like the NHL equivalent. So if you go into a sporting goods store and you see a hockey jersey that's got all of the stripes that look like a Calgary Flames jersey, all the stripes that look like a Dallas jersey, but doesn't have the logo on the front, and maybe the neckline's a little bit different, it's not an NHL jersey. But again, it's a blank, and if you find the logo online, which is easy enough to do, you can stick the logo on the front, and it becomes your version of that jersey. And then maybe you get like a CCM patch, throw it on the back where CCM has theirs. And it is getting harder and harder now when buying jerseys, especially with some sellers, to tell. Two pieces of advice I would give, because I know I get a lot of questions still about jerseys. One, don't be shy about asking for more pictures. If a website, and I don't care what website it is, if they only have a couple of pictures of a jersey, don't be shy about asking for others. And ask questions. Look for pictures of the jersey inside out. Be aware. There's definitely a lot of websites that'll tell you. Cool Hockey themselves, they have a site or a page on telling the fakes from the reals. And I understand too, there are people who buy fake jerseys and they intentionally buy fake jerseys and they get it. There are also people who are buying them that don't realize they're fakes until somebody tells them. I've had subscribers send me jerseys that when I've pulled them out of the box, I've had to actually message them and say, that was a fake. Or there were videos where we did an unboxing. It's one of the reasons why I don't do the unboxings now if it's a subscriber sends me something, because I feel like at this point, with the number of subscribers on the channel, that'd be kind of embarrassing, right? Like, he's opening up my jersey. He told me, it's a fake. I didn't know. So there are people who don't know, and we have fake jerseys that I've acquired. And again, this is why I share with people what to look for, because I was had a couple of times. And then the idea too of, you should report sellers. One of the sellers who sold me 2 fake jerseys, that account was gone within a month. So not necessarily but again, then you can look at a seller and say, okay, they just started their store a month ago. They've got all these jerseys on it. Might not be genuine. But yeah, so Cool Hockey is 25% off. I'm trying to think of where else. I know that Sports Buff Shop has had sales on jerseys. They had a sale on the Prime Green really recently. I don't have the page in front of me, but I've used them as well. That's where I got my gritty that I have here, that I've been trying to move around in videos. I haven't seen anybody mentioning that either, that I've had the gritty in here, I've had the gritty over here, I've had it behind there, I've had it in front of Gary Bettman. And people, and that is Gary Bettman photo. Which the reason I got the Gary Bettman photo was because I had some people regularly basically saying Shannon defends the NHL because the NHL is paying him, and he's on the NHL payroll. You know, the reason he's defending this call, the reason he's defending this is because he's on the NHL payroll when I'm not. There's none. There's no money that I've ever got from the NHL. The only thing the NHL ever gave me was a copyright strike 3 years ago, 2 years ago. So that wasn't exactly a present I wanted. So thankfully they did rescind it. They were actually, once I got through to somebody from the National Hockey League, they were very good about rescinding it and just, understanding that had never happened before and it hasn't happened since. So, and I was concerned because I know the NHL has a reputation for being kind of rough, and that's why I don't have footage in my videos. Now, there's always the opportunity that you can use footage in your videos and not monetize it, but then you're into this whole other area too, where it can get kind of messy. So I know there's some channels that are really good that do really good video packages, and they don't get paid for those video packages, but ads get thrown on there, and then the NHL makes money on them. So there's that. That if I made a video and there was a bunch of highlights, that maybe they don't give me a strike. Maybe like, that's a really good highlight reel package. We'll let you monetize that and we'll make the money on it. How does that sound? How about no? I learned that really early on with YouTube. That I had videos that might have music in them. It's like, oh, well, this music's in there and that means the money for that video is going to go there. And the video made like 5 cents. I was like, or maybe it wasn't monetized at all. And I'm like, oh, all right. So they'd throw ads on it. For the bands or for the record company, and so it's kind of a messy thing that I like to stay away from, which is why I like to do videos and not have the highlight reel packages. Also, the one take thing, and I know people ask about that as well. I do prefer the one take. I find that it's good for the feeling that it's conversational. There are times on YouTube, and people are going to say, he's talking about Steve Dangle. No, I'm not, but I'm going to talk about this. That there are times where you will see a video that's got a lot of edits and cuts in there, and it may make you question certain things about the rest of the video. So you may ask, okay, so why was there an edit there? What were they editing for? And I'll tell people, like, if there's an edit, I may have sneezed, I may have had to yawn really bad. The cats might have been doing something, the kids might have been doing something, Yvonne might have needed something. Or I just, maybe I need to collect myself. So there's a pause. And so that happens, but that's as close as it gets. And then, again, for me, I think it was important to stay true to the vision. So when the channel was starting up, I was like, you know what? I want to do single take. Channels that I followed at the time on YouTube were generally, conversational in how they did their videos. See, I picked up my soda and then I decided I don't need to drink my soda. It's not diet anyways. And once you're used to diet soda and you get one and you go, oh, this isn't diet. And then it's so sweet. It's anyways. But yeah, I wanted to stay true to that. And that's part of the reason why with the news videos that I do now without the whiteboard, that's how the news videos started out. It started out with me on the couch and it started out with me doing the single take. They then changed. I started to pare down the videos. I went from one video a day that was about like half an hour, 40 minutes, to 3 or 4 videos that were shorter. Eventually it was 5 a day. Now I don't really care about how many videos it is in a given day. It's just, what do I want to talk about today? What's going on today? And it could be really structured. It could be something like this, right? Where I'm saying, all right, I'm doing a meetup. It feels like we're basically in the off season. We've got a Stanley Cup Game 6 tomorrow, which I feel very fortunate to get a chance to watch and cover for all the fine people that subscribe to this channel, and even those that don't. But it is that time where, I can do a video like this on occasion, once in a while, and we'll be posting videos from the meetup today. And again, you're not going to see fantastic feats of athletic prowess, but you're going to see probably some nice goals here and there and some celebrating, and you're going to hear hockey conversations because we have hockey conversations. It's just kind of how that goes down. And it is entertaining. I had to laugh. I was watching Simpsons yesterday, or not yesterday, 2 days ago, and it was when he's on tour with Smashing Pumpkins. You guys all know the Simpsons one. You should. So, because even kids growing up now, you got to be watching Simpsons growing up. Why wouldn't you? But anyways, when Homer was asked about being famous, and he said, "It's great. Everybody knows your name, and you don't know theirs." And I said to Yvonne, I said, That is pretty accurate. That when I meet people, I'm not saying I'm famous. I'm saying when I meet people, they all know who I am. I don't know their name, and it just makes it weird sometimes, right? I know Yvonne had to kind of get out of introducing herself to everybody when we did have the meetups, because she'd be like, "I'm Yvonne." I'm like, they know who you are. They know who you are, and she kept talking about how weird that was. So I look forward to seeing how many times she introduces herself today. Now there are times where that works because maybe the guy comes out, he drags his girlfriend with him, which then leads to me, asking the girlfriend, "Did you want to come or did you not have a choice?" I apologize if you sitting watching us stumbling around out here isn't your idea of a great date, but it might work for some people too. So yeah, I'm really excited about this summer. Traveling to Las Vegas is something we haven't done in almost 3 years. And then we've got other trips planned as well that I've got my fingers crossed that nothing will happen and everything turns out just fine and there's no reason to have to cancel anything because it does feel like this could be a really good summer for us. We do get the question about where we've been. We've gone to Vegas a number of times. I've explained this. It's a cheap airfare, cheap hotels comparatively speaking. Compared to hotels here, it's roughly the same price. And you're in Las Vegas, you're not in Abbotsford or Coquitlam. It's a different environment. It's different environment totally, and so it's fun. And again, as long as we're not gambling and drinking, which we don't, it's a pretty cheap trip. It really it's not that bad. But yeah, those slot machines will take the money pretty darn quick. So you maybe you give yourself a limit. For Yvonne and I, we usually do $20 a trip. Yeah, that's it. We're gonna be there for almost a week, and I'm pretty certain it'll be $20 a trip. And not only that, normally it's the last thing we do before we leave. Where we're like, well, we've been in this hotel for days. We should just sit at a machine and do something. And it's yeah, we can sit at the machine for a few minutes and throw some money in it and see what happens. Sure, but and then I always get a kick out of too when you spin it and you've spent $2 on the spin and you win 35 cents and it has this big yay you won. No, I didn't. Nope. I didn't. I didn't. If somebody gives you $5 and you give them back two and you go, ha, you got $2 in profit. That guy that gave you $5 either is going to figure out you're scamming them or they're your new best friend. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm very proud of what the channel's become. I'm very happy about. I don't really concern myself with how many more subscribers are gained every day or anything. I'm just humbled by the whole thing, and I'm looking forward to having a pretty darn good summer overall. And then, like I said, the meetups will go into. I'm hoping they go into mid-September. The schedules come out for the preseason already for I think for all teams, but I saw like Winnipeg's starts September 25th, so preseason starts right around then, and then the regular season's supposed to start October 11th. The regular season schedule is supposed to be released middle of July is when they're hoping to have the regular season schedule done. I know that teams are really amping up their season ticket drives. I've had numerous contacts from the Vancouver Canucks, though I have a season ticket for Abbotsford, so it wouldn't make much sense for me to have season tickets in both places. I'm not going to be watching, and with Vancouver, it's usually comes down to not having a ticket package that exactly works. I'm usually looking for certain games, and they're never in the same package, and then there's always other games in that package I'm not going to be able to go to anyways. So there's that. But anyways, yeah, there you go. Hopefully everybody's having a good time and enjoying the start of summer. As I said, it's gonna be hot here today, but nowhere near as hot. Last summer was awful, and this summer's not gonna be as bad. We're gonna have air conditioning in the new home that we didn't have in the old home. This one's different. The other one was just a pressure cooker. There wouldn't have been any way for air conditioning alone to fix it. This one, a lot of this house will stay cool by putting one air conditioner in my room here and then one air conditioner upstairs. It really should help keep the house cool throughout the summer. So that is a benefit that we didn't have in the other house. The other house we would have needed, I estimate, 4 air conditioners running full speed because that other house there was an insulation. It was relatively small and it just baked. So I'm glad that we won't be dealing with that this summer, and that the temperature is not going to be hotter than the surface of the sun as it was last summer. At least I don't see that in the schedule, in the forecast for the next 2 weeks. Who knows what the future will bring? But thank you guys so much for all your support. It means a lot. This season feels like it was a very long season. I do feel kind of lost on days that don't have hockey games in them. Like I wake up and go, huh, now what? And so it's kind of this weird feeling, but I'm okay with it and I'll get used to it. And here we are. So hopefully everybody has a good time that comes out today. If you can't, that's okay. We'll have others. I know that people ask when we're going to be traveling elsewhere. I mean, we're planning a trip to California. I'm planning that for All Star Week. So first weekend of February, around that area. Having a because we're going to take the kids to Disneyland, and so that was the week that I thought worked. We were trying to figure out a time that works, and I kept saying, hockey season's starting then, or hockey's really busy then, and just looking at it going, when can we have a holiday where I can really enjoy the holiday and not miss a bunch of hockey games? And it comes back to the All-Star break. So there's that. But anyways, if we figure something else out, I'll let people on the channel know. But for now, that's where we're at. And then, of course, there's the 2 Rammstein concerts in September. They're coming to LA. They're going to play 2 back-to-back shows. So I already had the tickets for the show. I mean, they planned this way out. So 2019, I bought the tickets for the one show, and then they added a second show 2 years later when they're still delaying it. I was like, well, I'll get tickets for that too, because it's one night after the other. And I made sure they're on opposite sides of the arena. So one night will be on the Richard side, and the other night will be on the Paul side. And if you're a Rammstein fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I've always made sure that I'm on the Richard side, but I'll be on the Paul side for the second concert. I should be on the Richard side for the first, because Rammstein always stands in the exact same spots when they do their concerts. And so I know where everybody's going to be. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, I think that's about it. Anyways, yeah, I feel like people do ask a lot of questions about the jerseys. So we'll definitely be jersey videos this summer as well. And I will be getting into a lot of the historical stuff, because I really enjoy doing the historical stuff. Even if it may not be a great driver for views to the channel, I really like doing the historical stuff. So there'll be more of that. So thank you guys so much for all your support, as always. If you haven't already hit like and subscribe, this is a weird video to do it on, but go ahead. And again, you'll be seeing a lot of Maple and a lot of Azriel as she gets older. Hopefully she settles down. The other night she decided at 2 in the morning it was a good time to just attack me. She was on her bed, and she was just jumping on my feet, jumping on my legs, jumping on my chest, trying to smack me in the face. And it's like, it's 2 in the morning. I was really needing some sleep, and she just wouldn't stop. And she's a kitten, so what can I do? She's a little tiny little kitten. There's only so much she can do. So she hasn't done it again, which is good. I'm really hoping that doesn't become a nightly thing. But she's a good little cat. And again, the kittens have endeared themselves to the other cats, who are much more of old farts than I thought they were. Very much old farts. Not nearly as playful as I had thought, because now that I have kittens to compare them to, I'm like, yeah, they're old. But anyways, so am I. So there's no problem with that. And that's where the historical stuff comes in, because I am old enough to remember a lot of the stuff I talk about in videos. And if I don't remember it, I do my best to fill myself in before the videos get going. All right. Thank you guys again. I will talk to you soon. And again, anybody coming out to the meetups, bring your stick, bring your gloves, bring whatever, and don't worry about skill level. Don't worry about whether or not you score a bunch of goals, or whether or not you're responsible for goals into your own net. That's okay too. Mistakes happen, and I think that it's just fun to go out and play a simple little street hockey game, and keep it nice and casual and fun, which is, I think, the only way to do that. But let me know your thoughts. I get, yeah, sure. Yeah, you get. I'd say that in every other video. Why not say it here too? Thanks so much for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.